Yeah, for me, SummerSlam 95, Hakushi versus 1-2-3 Kid was one of the matches that I've watched on repeat the most of my childhood. And like Sean Waltman was the first person that kind of made me believe, oh, maybe I can do this. Because he was like the smaller guy, and he's tall, but in that generation, like he's 6'2", I think. But like, right. But like in that generation, they were all like 6'7", 6'8". So he like looked much smaller, and I thought like, oh, maybe I can do it.
Yeah.
He was the one who like made me like kind of have that belief that it's not impossible.
Yeah.
You know, and then he obviously beat Razor and all that stuff, and it's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
But,
he's. I feel like anyone, if you're just somebody who's, there's all the library books are there now for you to go back and watch things like you're talking about. He's psychologically, even it's hilarious. He was a tall guy, but he was small in that era because they're really, I don't want to be crude, but they're like dinosaurs, the size of these men. When I see my own brother or like Billy Gunn, who are you? Like y'all were living civilian life. Yeah. Oh my, just like
what a stud.
And this was something I saw at least in my time away on the Indies. Being a big guy is hard now, because what do? You're either champion, or you're like someone's heater. So there's not that middle ground anymore.
I also think it's funny how the big guys now are like 6'1", 300 pounds.
Yeah.
Right? But like.
Yeah, like I've always considered myself a light heavyweight. I'm a big boy here now.
Oh yeah,
I'm a big boy.
Hey, you know who's a underrated big guy?
Who?
Matt Bloom.
Oh my gosh.
And he didn't even look like a big guy.
Yeah.
At that time.
He's one that when you find yourself like you see a match at somebody's, you're like, oh, that was really good. Then 3 months later, there's another match.
Yeah.
He's somebody that is extremely underrated. Yeah. And I feel like, with what him and Sean are doing down there now, he definitely doesn't, and he's a big part of your, someone who was there for you when you came to Florida, and there for you in Japan, and carried it forward all the way. He's another person, contributions-wise.
Immense.
We were talking about last chapters, and I was doing, this is a thing, when people ask me for a wrestling Mount Rushmore, I tell a different one each time, so that somebody finally is like, this guy just makes this shit up. Yeah. He's not committing to this. But the last time I talked about it with somebody, I said, here's a last chapter Mount Rushmore. Here's 4 wrestlers who their last chapter was absurd. They gave something and you didn't even realize.
Yeah.
He's somebody that this was his life's work.
Yeah.
Like anytime you hear anybody that encounters him or has a moment, really, really special. I don't know if you want to speak to that, but that guy's a stud.
Yeah, like going back, like 24 years old, young boy in New Japan.
Yeah.
Like, sit at the front of the bus, and like I know, like what was his? He was doing the first gimmick he done in WWE was like Prince Albert.
Yeah, Prince
Albert.
Albert.
So like all these tattoos.
A-Train.
And I was like, oh my God, that's A-Train on the back of the bus. Oh shit, I better behave, And like all the Japanese boys are behind me, and he's right down the back of the bus. I'm like sitting up at the front of the bus. He's like, hey kid. I'm like, is he talking to me? Hey, Irish kid. I'm like, yes, sir. Yeah. Come back here. And like straight away, like he's super welcoming. Like took me out for dinner, like helped me get like acclimatized to working in Japan, living in Japan, how to deal with the office over there, how to deal with the boys over there.
Yeah.
And then like fast forward like 8 years, when I moved to NXT, I had to find a place to live because I'm not from America. So in the transition period of looking for a place to live, I actually lived with Matt Bloom and his family for 3 months.
Oh.
So to Matt and Farah, I would like to always say thank you, because for me, they are like my American family.
So Matt may be the one wrestler who doesn't owe you money. For all his other wrestlers.
No, I owe him money.
For the Bullet Club situation.
I owe Matt Bloom a lot.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Well, shout out to, cheers to Matt Bloom for sure. It's multiple times he's been mentioned. And it's important to note too that he's down there developing people now, developing individuals who are coming.
Yeah. And actually, little known fact, I want to give him also another shout out, because my second run in NXT, which I'm very proud of, which I consider probably some of my best in-ring work in my career.
Okay.
And the producer I worked with on every match was Matt Bloom.
Yeah.
And he's someone who really like understands how
Yeah.
I work, and for that I'm grateful for, and I would love to have him on the main roster, but I feel like he's much more valuable to the business at the Performance Center.
For sure. And times change in a way that's really wild.
Yeah.
You know, Ben is sitting there, and I pointed him out several times. Ben's never changing. This warehouse is his.
Yeah.
Things come in here. But all the other positions in here, it's really wild. If you look at WWE and you see like, oh, that guy's in charge of this now, and that guy, it's growing. And then also the question of, well, who's next?
Yeah.
Right? Because it's such a different WWE now. Who's interested in the
and
metrics?
people move on, and people have to step in. And eventually we'll have moved on, and there'll be
that's the
two more
crazy thing
people
about
sitting
wrestling.
here.
I always tell people like, don't really ever hate anybody. Don't hate anybody. You probably will, but don't, because you will work with them again.
Yeah.
You will, you know, like I have burned boats, bridges, everything, and then known like, oh, you know, I'm gonna have to deal with that person. You know, like I gotta figure out how that looks for me. And after a while, you start realizing like, no, just end it all professionally. That's something that I feel like the old timers were maybe a little better than our generation, or at least like emotional types like me, is they were really good about, all right, we're done.
Yeah.
See you again.
Yeah.
Later. Business is business, right?
I feel like a lot of stuff right now is like way too personal.
Yeah, I mean, I need to hear that on a regular basis. I'm obsessed with this, and it's like, what, you know? Just like it. Sometimes it's just business.
Yeah, I think I used to be obsessed with it, and like the older I've gotten, like the more I've detached and I've separated like Fergal from Finn, and like I can understand like if like I can. Sometimes I'm in the locker room and I can like tell someone's like working me.
Oh, it's the
worst. Know, or like, you know, trying to manipulate the situation.
Bad salesman.
And I just doesn't bother me. I was like, okay, fine. Like
bad salesman.
Because Finn isn't a real person.
Yeah.
And like Fergal's gonna go home and it's not gonna affect like Fergal tomorrow. So I'd always try like zoom out and like, oh, you're not being booked right, or oh, you're not getting enough W's, you're losing all the time. I try and like zoom out and think of like 25 years, not like like a month, you know?
Do you know you probably paid me the best compliment I ever got, as far as, I think you already know this, ever, as a wrestler, ever, as just a wrestler and a person in business. You were being way too generous with the statement, but I stand by the fact that I still consider it my favorite compliment I ever received from one of my peers. There's sheets at TV each week with all the shows that say no comps, like don't ask for comp tickets. And coming out of WrestleMania 39 through WrestleMania 40, it was a long sheet. It used to be like 2 or 3, and it was a long sheet, and you thanked me for generally some of the uptick in business, and that was greater than anything you could probably experience in a character setting or in any setting. Because again, the world does not revolve around one wrestler ever, but sometimes we feel it does. But still, you do want to look back. You don't want to be a wrestler who was so humble that you never tipped your own hat. You never, you know. But the best thing ever, and Hunter told me this years ago, is nobody can put you over like somebody else. And I thought, oh man, this guy who frickin' changed our entire industry, for him to say that once, multiple times to me, was incredibly kind and super.
Well, I mean
to this day.
Well, I mean it, and with the greatest respect to the people at the top before you. When I came to the company like 10 years ago and was wrestling house shows, they were like 30% capacity, 40% capacity, and that was a good night.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right? And now it's 100% capacity. When that upswing happened coincided with your arrival. And I don't think that's a coincidence. So I would like to tip my hat. Thank you.
Cheers, man.
Cheers.
Oh my God.